Hey guys, and welcome to Friday. Very close on the home stretch to ending the year, and we're not going to be caught up because I suck.
It's like you're awesome.
I was focusing on other things, but hopefully January will be better. But I thought I would open my magic cards, but first, Giselle has some cool things she wants to show you that she's been doing over the past several months.
Over the past my whole entire life.
Over the past her whole entire life. Wonderful. She's going to show you her little collection she's got going on over here. Here you go.
So yeah, Chris thought I had to show you guys this. So I collect
It was just like a towers building over there of pennies.
wheat pennies. Wheat pennies are pennies that are that were minted, I guess between 40 or 41 and then 1958 is the last one I have right here. These are all ones that I've just collected from work over the past few months, although I have several more in California. But I've just always been fascinated with wheat pennies, and they have the different backing. So I aligned them by year, but Chris just thought I had to show you because I guess
I think it's hilarious.
he thinks it's really funny, and I've just been stacking them over here for the past few months.
Well, she went through our entire little collection of coins that we have and was like, I'm gonna find all the wheat pennies in here that you've hid from me.
And there was only one.
But she did rearrange all the coins in there and organize them.
So those are all the wheat pennies that I've just collected from work. I usually keep a penny or two in my pocket, actually while I'm at work, so that if I ever find a wheat penny in my drawer, I can just switch it out. And yeah, I'm that big of a nerd that I do that. So yeah, these are my wheat pennies. I'd like to get it their own special little dish or jar sometime. I just have not set aside the time to do that yet because I'm a giant nerd.
Let's do some more nerd stuff and open magic cards. So
Woohoo!
These are the magic cards Giselle put in my stocking that she got from the Dollar Tree. I feel like they have these little packets of cards at the Dollar Tree. There's 10 cards in a pack. And I mean, I don't think they're going to be anything special. And I think I mentioned this earlier in the week when I showed you that I got these, that she gave them to me. I mentioned that I just have never really had the opportunity to get into magic cards before because I never knew anyone that played them. I knew one person, one of my really good friends played them, but we never really got into playing them together, unfortunately. But I would love to get into them more because I love the way they look, and I just love the idea of the game because he did teach me, my friend did teach me how to play, and I liked it well enough. So let's take a look at what these are. I got Schrakegeist. That's pretty cool looking. It's a creature spirit. Marsh Threader and Maze Glider. Harvest Worm. They're all they're all flipped around and stuff.
My brother made me a whole worm deck when I was probably about 12. This worm was not one of them, but he made me a whole worm deck.
My friend who played Magic, because I didn't own any Magic cards at the time, he made me a whole unicorn deck based around all of the unicorns he could possibly find in the game, and I just had a unicorn deck. It was pretty awesome. I still have it. It's somewhere in the apartment. But, ooh, that's pretty cool looking. Saltai Emissary. Maze Abomination, and then a land card, Armament Corpse, and Aerostorm. So I'm not...
So this is the only uncommon card out of all of them.
Is it? How do you know that?
You just look. So this is an older card because it's it has the older style and that. But you just look at the color of this. I like the way the slightly older looking cards look though.
She knows more about Magic cards than I do.
They're always fun.
She knows more about them than I do, so that's fun.
Yes, I do.
But so I guess I'm not going to show you every single one like that with all of these because there's 6 packs, but maybe I'll show you some of the cooler ones. I'm going to flip them all around real quick because it's really annoying that they're all in here really randomly. I'm not sure if they do that for a specific reason, but it's annoying. So there's Erase Cranial Archive. That's pretty cool. Swamp Plan card. Retraction Helix. That's pretty awesome looking. I like that a lot. Corpse Hauler. That guy's pretty great. Kite Sail. Wing Crafter. I really like that one. Leonin Sky Hunter. Sharper Guild Mage. So is that the uncommon one?
It's not uncommon.
Wait, where's the uncommon thing at?
It's just these symbols. So this is uncommon.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Is that one? Okay,
this one's the uncommon for
gotcha.
the deck.
Windrake. Awesome.
Woo. What I want to find in these is I want to find some slivers, but I don't even know if the more recent magic things have had slivers in them or whatever.
Maybe you should
but
explain what that means.
slivers are like a type of creature that is... They're like these really weird things. They have like one really long like hook arm thing, and they can do different stuff. You can tap them for different abilities. So like if you tap this sliver, then all others... Tapping is when you turn it sideways and use its ability or attack with it. So if you tap the sliver, then all other sliver creatures get like +1/+1. And then, so their attack goes up and their defense goes up. And then if you tap this sliver, all slivers get flying for the round. And if you can basically, they all affect each other in this big chain. So you can just get a bunch of slivers, tap a few, get massive abilities, and then you just have like you have like 6-8 flying creatures, and you just attack and wipe out your opponent. It's fantastic. I love sliver decks. I think they're wonderful and so much fun. And so I'd love to get a few sliver cards and start building up our sliver collection.
This video is going to be like super cringeworthy for anyone that does play Magic, because I don't know anything about any of these, but you got to start somewhere, you know? Got to start somewhere. So, Divine Favor, and then this one is white around it. I don't know what that means, but it's the Drudge Skeleton.
It was just a reprint of an older card, or is an older card.
Are you sure? Okay. Rotting Mastodon. That's fun. I just love all this. This is so much fun. I like all these so much. I love the art.
So these are a bunch of swamp cards.
I'm definitely going to go through these later and like actually look at what they do. Gurmag Drowner. Like I'll read all the descriptions. Gurmag Drowner. Grizzly Spectacle. My bad.
Oh, yep, I know that card.
Really?
Yeah, that's one that I've seen, I'm pretty sure.
Asphyxiate. Mountain. Set Adrift. This is the uncommon card. I'm learning. And Sultai Scavenger. So that's pretty cool. I really like these. I'm gonna keep saying that. But I have been wanting to learn more about this card game for a very long time. Like, I feel like this is just a necessity when you're a fantasy geek. You just gotta be into stuff like this, right?
Chris has mentioned to me before that he is interested in starting Magic and stuff and like learning more about it. And since I know much more about it than he does, then I thought it'd be fun to like
open these together and see what we got.
Share it with him.
Black Cat.
Oh, that's awesome. I
Really
really
awesome.
like that art.
Me too. That's really cool. And all of them have like the artist names on them. And I actually might go look up some of these artists, because a lot of these artists actually do book covers too. I like noticed that lately I've been looking at a lot of illustrations for fantasy covers and sci-fi covers, and I've been noticing, like I've been looking at the illustrators' websites, and a lot of them actually make Magic cards too, like do the illustrations for them. Fire Elemental, Llanowar Druid, Screaming Seahawk, Siegecraft, Archers of Carsey, and this one, we had another one of these, Armament Corps. That's the first repeat I think we've gotten, besides another mountain. And
you always need more land.
Yeah, Alpine Grizzly. I'm kind of surprised that there's only one land card in all of these packs, but I guess that kind of makes sense. I thought there would be like 8 regular cards and like 2 land cards at least, because you need them. But what do I know?
I really tend to like Druid Elf decks as well. I just think they're really fun, and like these little cards like this are the ones that like make the deck work so well. And green is my favorite color to play. I love green and white decks. Green and white decks are my favorite. And then blue is like intermediate for me. Blue decks, depending on the deck, can be difficult because sometimes they're like super intellectual. And then I do like black, although sometimes I have a hard time killing my creatures. And sometimes you have to sacrifice a lot of creatures in black decks.
She just gets too attached to them.
And I do. I'm like, oh, I don't want to kill them. I feel so bad. And then red decks are the worst, because my experience with red decks are... It's one of those, like, sacrifice 8 billion of your creatures for blah, 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 as how my brother used to play red decks. And so I always had such a hard time with red decks, because he would just have, like, goblin red decks, and then you just killed half of your own people, and it would drive me crazy, because I was, like, 10, and I was like, don't kill them.
The penultimate pack starts with Welkin Turn, and then, here, I'll go through them like this. Ultimate Perdition, and then Wild Instincts, Hideous Visage. I've noticed that I really do like the green cards, generally. Those are some of my favorites.
They're very fantasy feeling.
Yeah. Crypsis, Aqueous Form, Raise the Alarm, Molting Snake Skin. This is the Uncommon one, Dazzling Ramparts. It's pretty cool.
So
And then Forest.
this uncommon is that it's a defender, which means it can't attack, and you have to pay 2 and then tap the target creature. So that's awesome.
Is it?
And yeah, it means that after the person untaps, then you can just like play this at any time and tap their biggest creature, and then they can't attack with it.
And the last pack, I want to go ahead and flip all these over real quick.
That wall card that we just showed would have been way better if it had reach.
Apparently, that's what Giselle said. Faithless Looting. Wild Mammoth.
Don't you love those cards?
That's pretty. Oh, we got another one of these. Leonin Sky Hunter. That's another one. Wing Crafter. I really like that one in the other pack, and I really like it still. Catacomb Slug. Yummy. Claustrophobia. Whoa, that's freaky. You see that?
Yeah.
That's freaky. Dead Drop. An island land card. And, wait, Nyxborn Valakar. I thought this was the last one, but this one's the last one. Death Frenzy is the uncommon.
You got 2 uncommons in this one.
Oh, did I?
So one common has Delve. Each card you exile from your graveyard while casting the spell pays for 1. Okay, that makes it a lot cheaper. Target player sacrifices 2 creatures. Alright. All creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn. Whenever a creature dies this turn, you gain 1 life. Oh, feels very counterproductive, but okay. Because it's a sorcery, so you can only play it during your turn. You can't play it during your opponent's turn.
Interesting. Okay. Well, anyway.
My cards are still in California, but I have 5 half decks.
Nice.
So I have 5 half decks, which my brother made for me. I never owned Magic cards myself. Just my brothers owned so many thousands of them that I never had to. So they would have dozens and dozens of decks and stuff, and I never had to buy any because any Magic cards I could possibly want were at the tips of my fingers at any time, and I would just play with decks that they made. And I did try my hand at making a few decks. I have made a Sliver deck, and I ended up spending a few weeks literally just trying to put together a deck to make this one card work where you just win the game. And that's literally what the card is, but it's really hard because you need 1 of every color and then plus like 3 extra, so it takes a while to build up to it. I spent a long time trying to make a 5-color deck because that is pretty hard sometimes, and I spent a while and I tested it quite a few times with a different brother of mine. We were kind of working together on it. It was mostly me though, and then he would like give me feedback and be like, oh, you should do this and whatever. And then my other brother came into town and we did a 3-way of us playing Magic, and one of my brothers knew about it, and so we ended up he tried to help me out a little bit and made the game last long enough that I was able to do it, and I won the game, and it was great. It was just so funny because they'd both tried at several different times to make a deck work around that one card, and they were never able to make it work, and I made one that worked decently well. I think I've made a few other decks. My favorite deck that I've ever played with is probably, besides the Sliverbutt decks, which are wonderful, my favorite deck that I've ever played with is an Elemental deck that my brother made, which is awesome as well. It just worked very well all together, and it's one of the most OP decks I've literally ever touched in my life. It was so crazy, and for you to not win with it was ridiculous. And then I do own 5 half decks, so my brother, he knew I wanted to try Magic a little bit more and have my own cards, so I didn't have to keep taking his and stuff. So when I was about 12 to 14, he ended up making me half decks, so I could just put 2 of the half decks together, make a whole deck, and then I could have a blue-black deck or a red-green deck or a white-red deck or whatever, and I could just use it in any compilation that I wanted to. I usually would stick my green and white together or my green and black together because that's probably my favorite combinations. And they weren't phenomenal decks, but they worked alright, so anyway, those are some of my Magic stories. I really like Magic the Gathering, but I haven't touched Magic cards probably since I was 16 or 17. It's been many years, so it would be fun to start playing at some point, maybe when we have a little bit more money for our disposal. Because Magic can get expensive really fast.
Thanks for letting us show you geek stuff that we're into. I think that's pretty much it for today, because that took a while. That took longer than I thought it would, but I think that's where we're going to end it today.
Now you have 1,000,000 magic cards.
I have exactly 60 magic cards. Thank you. Thanks, Giselle. Thanks for my present.
You're
It's actually a
welcome.
really good present. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you tomorrow.